Hello everybody, welcome back to some super spooky Saturday. This is only going to be one video. Morgan wanted me to react to this for this one, and I checked with her to make sure it'd be standalone things. Yeah, it'd probably be a good have a one video to have a standalone or like just to start up. It's been a while. But yeah, so this is Morgan's. She was whatnot, so not that scary. It's not scary. I don't know what to say. I've seen this movie and it was very good. Don't get me wrong, but spooky part, I don't know. But if you do not like Five Nights at Freddy, I would not recommend you watching this. If you just don't like it in general, again, it's not as scary as the games, but if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. So if you're still here, cool. Let's get on with the video. It's just mainly going to be a kill count.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Five Nights at Freddy's, released in 2023. Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF to fans, is based on the viral video game.
Markiplier was supposed to be in this movie, but he had turned down from thing because he was working on Iron and Lug movie or whatnot or something like that. Otherwise, he would have been the security guard, which would have been kind of cool. I saw Corey Kinji and Matt Pat in it as well. Matt Pat as the waiter and Corey Kinji as the taxi driver.
Franchise of the same name.
Oh, and before we continue, I would just like to say, if you are planning on watching this movie, I would recommend not watching this because you might get spoilers. I'm not sure for sure, but you'll probably get spoilers because of the deaths and all that stuff. So again, if you don't want spoilers and you're planning on watching this movie, cool. I would not recommend you watching this video until you have seen the movie. Otherwise, continue at your own risk.
FNAF takes place at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a Chuck E. Cheese-style restaurant plagued by animatronic animosity. It's hard to know where to start with FNAF. Released in 2014, the indie horror game Five Nights at Freddy's was created in just 6 months by a single man, Scott Cawthon, who at that point was developing family-friendly Christian adventure games. One of his efforts, Chipper and Sons Lumber Co., was criticized for its unintentionally creepy characters, so Cawthon decided to repurpose the art style for a horror game. Five Nights quickly blossomed into a full-on media franchise, currently consisting of 9 main games, multiple spin-off games, novels, comics, an assload of merchandise, and a haunted house in Las Vegas? What? FNAF's success is due in part to its complicated lore, which has been picked apart and analyzed by countless internet sleuths. With such a rabid fanbase, a film adaptation was all but inevitable, but it languished in development hell for many years, going back to 2015. Blumhouse finally delivered the long-awaited project in October 2023, and even though it was available on Peacock opening day, it grossed nearly $300 million worldwide. I never got into Five Nights, but I was happy to see this movie's success. I think the acting is solid and that it's shot well, thanks to the cast and the direction by Emma Tammy. And the animatronics, created by the geniuses at the Jim Henson Creature Shop, are absolutely incredible. They look like they were ripped straight out of the games. But I've only played the first game a couple of times, and if you don't know the lore, this movie is confusing and honestly pretty slow. As a film, I found it kinda mid. But the truth is, it doesn't fucking matter what I think. This thing was made for the fans, and by all accounts, those fans seem to love it, so I'm thrilled for them.
I knew we needed to make a movie that was going to land with the fans, and that was Jason Blum's priority and Scott's as well.
I mean, if this gets kids excited to watch scenes of people talking and kick-ass practical animatronics, then yes, make a million excited to watch scenes of people talking and kick-ass
Corey Kinji!
Practical animatronics.
That's Corey Kinji, if you don't know. That's what I'm talking about, taxi driver. I know Morgan's probably going to be like, I already know this, but yeah.
Then yes, make a million more, please. Especially since it doesn't dumb things down for its younger audience, even though it's not overly complicated. It's got foreshadowing and themes and good lighting. It's a fine little movie, and I'm happy that it made so many people happy. Will our characters survive their 5 nights with Freddy, or will they punch out early from their security shift? Let's find out and get to the kills.
About time.
The movie begins with a Chuck E. chase. A security guard is crawling and walking his way through Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, because he's done with the monitoring and whatever's on the other side of that door. Ooh, I think it's something foxy. This dum-dum can't outrun those dum-dums, so he gets knocked out and strapped down. He's about to be put in an animatronic suit, and you know what they say about those masks.
So you can imagine how having your head forcefully pressed inside one of those could cause a bit of discomfort and death.
The guard is killed when the mask gives him an off-screen Fazbear facial. What? You? 8-bit opening credits pay homage to the arcade minigames featured in several of the FNAF sequels. They show someone suited up as a yellow bunny, wonder who, peeling kids off from their friends one by one. Where you taking them, bunny? Where's the sprite string? Mike Schmidt is also a security guard, only he works at the local mall. That is, until he witnesses what seems to be a kidnapping, which causes him to Hulk out and baptize the guy with a beatdown. Unfortunately, he misread the situation. Come on, Mike, what the fuck was that?
That was a mistake.
Yeah, it was. Now you've got Shaggy yelling at you.
Shaggy dude! It was, and now you got Shaggy yelling at you. That's hilarious. I paused it right at that. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yes, it's good to see this dude. If you don't know who this dude is, what are you doing with your lives? This is the dude, of course, that has been through, let's say, Shaggy from, if you haven't guessed it yet, Monster, no, not Monster Inc. I don't know why I was about to say that. Monster Incorporated. Mr. Machine and all that, you know.
He's fired and has a meeting with a career counselor named Steve Raglan. Yeah, okay, doubt. Steve, totally his real name, is played by Matthew Lillard, a 2-time kill count veteran and 1-time prime rib presenter. Thanks again for that, man. Steve is initially dismissive since Schmidt is a shit employee, but for some reason his tune changes after seeing Mike's last name.
I have a job for you.
Maybe you noticed that Mike is named after the first game's protagonist. He offers Mike a security shift at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
You only have to worry about one thing.
The killer animatronics.
Keeping people out.
Oh, could have sworn it was the killer animatronics. Steve sells the job as a real winner.
Yeah, the thing is to keep people out.
How's the pay?
Who comes to a pizza place at nighttime?
But the hours are worse.
Those hours are the graveyard shift, which Mike says he can't work. He needs to prioritize his nightly routine, which consists of pills, posters, and nature sounds. All this ambience is to help him lucidly dream about a childhood camping trip. He was supposed to be watching over his little brother Garrett, but got distracted and didn't notice when Garrett went off with a stranger. Not even aging into Pedia is enough for Mike to change the past, and his dream always ends with Garrett's abduction. But he thinks that by visiting the incident in his dreams, he might remember a clue he's forgotten, and finally find out what's happened to his bro. Mike is now the guardian of his little sister Abby, who likes dinosaurs and building tents. They have an Aunt Jane who thinks Mike shouldn't be watching over the youngin', even though he's a well-meaning guy. I mean, besides the whole assaulting a dad thing. Quit crying, kid. He was doing it because he cares. The shopping mall gives Aunt Jane an in to claim Abby for herself, hoping to collect them foster child funds. She intends on taking sole custody of Abby with the help of her fearsome lawyer, Doug. Tremble before him! Knowing that he'll need to look good in front of a judge, Mike calls up Steve Raglan to take him up on his job offer. We're less than 20 minutes into this thing, and we're already at Freddys. I love how we ain't fuzzy footing around. Mike's first night begins with a phone call from Steve giving him
some reason, like this part right here flashes when it's like playing and my mouse is not on it, and then the subtitles, they're like flashing like so mixed together. If I'm looking over there, it's because I'm reading them and whatnot.
This place was huge in the 80s with the kids.
Steve's phone call is in the style of Phone Guy, your supervisor in the games who provides you with instructions via voicemail.
Hello? Hello?
This place's security system is dated but extensive, with cameras and lights everywhere, except probably right outside the office. And of course, since this is FNAF, the power situation ain't great.
The electricity is a bit iffy.
Mike settles into the office, which is a mostly accurate rendition of the one from the game, complete with a fan, striped sippy drink, and ball of tinfoil. The only unrealistic thing is that Mike's not booping the nose on that Celebrate poster.
So remember, these characters...
Production designer Mark Visicella added tons of set deck Easter eggs, including a prize counter filled with the second game's Funtime animatronics, and a nod to Chica's Magic Rainbow, the main antagonist of FNAF World, a spin-off RPG. Freddys uses the Jigsaw employee training technique, so Mike pops his tape in and watches a retro training video. The video covers the Disneyland level tech that goes into Fazbear's animatronics, but right when it's turning into a how it's made on dancing robots, the tape gets spooky, so Mike doesn't fully see them in action. All he knows is that he must protect this proprietary proprietary technology, a job duty that doubles as a tongue twister. FNAF's dedication to its source material was guided by the game's creator, Scott Cawthon. He co-produced the movie and helped keep the lore and animatronic design true to the IP. He also wrote the initial draft of the screenplay, which director Emma Tammy and co-writer Seth Cudback then expanded on to flesh out the characters and story. Instead of doing his job, Mike keeps up his nightly routine of trauma dreaming. It's the same old until Mike stumbles upon 5 little birthday guests. He tries to pry them for information.
Did you see who took my brother?
But their response is less than helpful. Mike wakes up and ends his shift when the clock strikes 6 o'clock.
He's lucky the first night isn't too hectic and you get pretty much a chill night. Otherwise, him sleeping like that, he's lucky he hasn't died, especially night 2. If this was anything like the show or like a game to where like they move and stuff and you have to manage, and he had to do that with him sleeping on those sleeping pills, he would have died horribly every single time.
He returns home to relieve his babysitter Max, not knowing that she's been working with Aunt Jane to collect evidence against Mike. She and her brother Jeff meet with Jane at a diner where they're waited on by YouTuber MatPat.
You do realize that lunch is the most important meal of the day.
Thought it was breakfast.
Some people say that, but you know, it's just a theory.
It's a well-deserved cameo, seeing as his game theory.
I didn't realize they said that. Like, I missed that part. I don't know if I had subtitles on when we watched it or not, but that's just a theory. If you don't get that reference, it's because his channel is The Game Theory. I don't really watch his channel that much. Haven't really watched it at all. So, but yeah, Game Theory, that's just a theory.
Videos helped kick off FNAF's explosive success. In fact, MatPat's cameo was the very first scene filmed for the movie. Matt's not the only FNAF creator featured in the film. The Employee of the Month wall in the background includes several streamers like 8-Bit Ryan, Razbowski, Baz, Fusion Z Gamer, and Dawko. Markiplier was also asked to appear as the security guard who bites it in the opening sequence, but he had to turn it down to work on his own upcoming horror film, Iron Lung. Max.
Yeah, that's what it was. Iron Lung. He was doing that movie. Otherwise, he would have so been in it. That would have been so cool.
Can't find any evidence of wrongdoing, so Jane pays them to fuck with Mike's employment by trashing the pizzeria. Then he'll get fired and she can take custody. It's the perfect illegal plan.
I just realized I shouldn't be hearing any of this.
On his second night, Mike gets...
Okay, I have a question. She hired them to around the job, but if they go during the day, is it really gotta be on him that they get in, because he's technically night shift? If there's no one for the day shift, that's their problem, that they didn't hire a security guard for the day shift. So it's not really on Mike that he should be fired just because they trash the place in the morning and his night shift. Because again, until night shift, he's not technically working. He's off shift. If he's off the clock, then it's not his responsibility.
It's right back to sleep manifesting on the job. But the little Dream Warriors run away again. One little pirate even gives them the hook and a scare bear stare. Mike wakes up to see a police officer at the door trying to buzz her way inside.
Vanessa, Vanny.
Starting to think maybe you fell asleep on the job.
What? Who, me? Never. This is Vanessa, a local cop who seems to know more about Freddys than she's letting on. She sees that Mike has a cut on his arm, the same one that he got in his dream. But this Five Nights at Freddy Krueger shit never comes up again. What the fuck's that all about? She gives Mike the grand tour of the restaurant, including a performance by its Robo Band. The song they sing is Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantics, an earwormy reference to Mike's sleeping habits. It plays several times in the film, which is great. I love when movies have a signature needle drop, like in You're Next, Us, and The Lost Boys. The band includes the 4 animatronics from the original game. Guitarist Bonnie, a blue bunny who's not voiced by Zoran, Chica, a chicken on backup vocals who has a sidekick named Mr. Cupcake, Party Pirate Foxy, who I guess is just there for, vibes, and the band leader, Freddy Fazbear himself. Tammy knew from the get-go the animatronics would be the focal point of the film.
They are part of the cast and the characters that the fans are the most familiar with actually going into this film.
The difficult task of bringing them to life relief went to the team at Jim Henson's Creature Shop, under the supervision of lead designer Robert Bennett.
Oh,
the team created
actually, they were
full-sized
actual
animatronics
robots?
of the mascots,
I'm
as
not
well as
surprised.
suits worn by stunt performers. Jade
Oh,
Kimmer Martin
okay,
played
so they're
Bonnie,
people in
Jess
the
Weiss
suit.
played Chica, and Kevin Foster played Freddy. Foster's actually been added to the kill count before in Jurassic World. It wasn't easy for them to perform in these heavy suits.
I have a helmet that's about 16 pounds, and I call it a helmet because it's full. I'm in there, and I don't really have any visibility whatsoever.
Occasionally, puppeteers had to step in to operate their arms and hands, while additional performers controlled the eyes, ears, and mouth off screen. Even though this jam session rocks, things aren't all fun and games at the pizzeria. Vanessa mentions that some kids went missing there in the 80s, which grabs Mike's attention since missing kids is kinda his whole thing. But she drives off before they can unravel that thread, leaving Mike to lock up for the day. He's spied on by Max's brother Jeff, who initiates Operation Fuck Up Fazbears. He and his gang of ruffians break into the pizzeria and promptly start causing all sorts of
Again, like I said, they're during the daytime, so technically not Max's problem, and it's not going to do anything to stop his job, because they're not doing it during his shift. Again, if he lost the clock, it's not his problem, it's the company's problem.
trouble. Wait, how do you wind up with this group of people? Like, how do they know this guy? A dude named Carl is poking through the kitchen when he's jump scared by Chica, who promptly sicks Mr. Cupcake on him. His buddy Hank hears the commotion and discovers Carl getting his face skin licked off like frosting. Jeff is hanging out in the security room when he sees Hank on the monitor screaming like a maniac. Hank tries to hide, but winds up locking himself in with Bonnie, who reduces him to a bloody version of the Titanic handprint.
Yep.
Jeff arrives just in time to see Boogie Bunny Bonnie emerging from the closet. He runs away and holds up in the security room, where he narrowly avoids a sneak attack by Mr. Cupcake. In the games, Mr. Cupcake is basically a static prop, but he's promoted to full-on killer robot status in the movie. Director Tammy admitted production was a little obsessed with Cupcake, who was able to be incorporated into more scenes due to his small size. Jeff tries to escape, but is foiled by a locked door. Sucks for him, since the Scat Man's on his way again. The Dum Dums come courtesy of Foxy, who hums a similar ditty in the original game. He runs down the hallway and puts an end to Jeff with another move cribbed from his in-game behavior. While the other characters could be played by humans, Foxy was a full animatronic puppet who required 6 performers just to make him walk.
We have one on the head, one on the face, one on the arms, we have 2 on the feet, and then we have one that runs the rig, which pushes up and down and allows Foxy to sort of tilt forward and move his body up and down.
This fricky fox was a danger off-screen too. At one point, an overheating servo nearly lit him on fire.
Someone on my team said, Foxy's smoking. I was like, yeah, Foxy's smoking. And they're like, no, it's smoking. I look back and I'm like, oh, it's smoking.
Max, who's been waiting in the getaway car, goes inside to see what's taking so long. She encounters a little boy who runs away telling her to follow him, sounding exactly like an NPC.
Follow me. Come on.
A set this size would typically be built in parts, but production built Fazbear's Pizza as one continuous location, allowing the actors to move between rooms like it were an actual building. Max winds up in a workshop full of broken toys. One of the animatronics there is Sparky the dog, a supposedly hidden character in the first game. The diner from earlier was named after him. Sparky turned out to be just an internet urban legend though, I guess Gen Z's version of the Mew under the truck by the SS Anne. Max follows the boy's voice to a Freddys suit in the corner and abandons any and all sense of logic when she sticks her face straight in its maw. She's pulled inside and literally bites the dust. Wait, was that the bite of 87? No, I know it wasn't, so please don't yell at me in the comments. Please don't yell at me in the comments. Vanessa visits Mike to inform him of the damage done by Jeff and his crew. She accuses him of being too drugged up for the job, having found his stash of sleepy pills, so he opens up about his traumatic childhood and why he spends so much time sleeping.
Every single thing that you see your entire lifetime, the tiniest of details, gets stored inside of you.
I mean, no, that is not how the brain works, but Mike believes it is, which is why he keeps searching his dream memories for clues. He also reveals his father abandoned him and Abby after their mother died, who I guess is enough of a character to add to the count. Honestly, I don't even know my own rules sometimes. Vanessa is played by Elizabeth Lail. Add to the count?
I don't know if we should count it or not.
Honestly, I don't even know my own rules sometimes. Vanessa is played by Elizabeth Lail, last seen on the Kill Counted Countdown, while Mike is played by Josh Hutcherson, star of The Hunger Games and TikTok fan cams. His horror credits include slashers like Detention and Tragedy Girls, the latter of which was penned by Tyler McIntyre and Chris Lee Hill, who have story by credits on FNAF alongside game creator Scott Cawthon. In light of his tragic backstory, Vanessa agrees not to file a police report, but insists that Mike stay awake and alert when he's working around the animatronics. With his usual babysitter bitten and high off, Mike is forced to bring Abby along on his next shift. She's gonna have to sleep on the floor, but she's still excited, because there's nothing kids love more than a cleaning montage! Yeah! I love watching dudes clean restaurants in my horror movies.
Yeah, I
All
love
that
cleaning
cleaning gets
montage.
Mike tuckered out, so he, you guessed it, takes another nap on the clock. He grills his new dream friend for info.
Help me remember the man who took my brother.
But the kid ghosts him, leaving behind a dirt bunny for Mike to ponder. While he's sleeping, Abby gets up to poke around for more lively playmates. She screams and wakes Mike up, who finds her surrounded by Fazbear and friends. He's ready to go to Chairtown to take this bear down, but don't worry, Mikey, Abby's just having some wholesome fun.
They wouldn't stop tickling me.
This rock band just wants to play. Wink. And though they don't like Mike, they're held at bay by Abby and her cutesy doodles. Mike realizes Abby's most recent illustrations look like a page out of his dream journal. Them's those damn dream kids he keeps saying. Turns out Abby's been getting drawing prompts from beyond the veil.
All they talk about is a yellow rabbit.
Mike takes Abby back to Freddys the next night so she can probe her new friends for more details about Garrett's kidnapping. When they get there, they find Vanessa admiring Abby's artwork. Mike pulls her aside to ask her what the fuck the animatronics are.
Ghost children possessing giant robots?
Oh, actually sounds like he picked up on it pretty quickly. So it seems like the ghost kids from his dreams are the ones kidnapped in the 80s, with each of them representing a Robo band member. An Abby original kicks off a goofy fort building montage set to Connection by Elastica. I can't say I expected this cheesy ass sequence, but you know what? I still find it kind of cute. But, oh man, did they really want to lay on that nasty ass carpet? You know it's full of dirt and gum and pee, probably. Despite the hijinks, Fazbear's Pizza is far from kid-friendly, if this dolly death trap is anything to go off of. Some fans think this peepless creeper is Circus Baby, a recurring enemy in the games. However,
Right, that's
really want to lay on that nasty ass carpet? You know it's full of dirt and gum and pee, probably. Despite the hijinks, Fazbear's Pizza is far from kid-friendly, if this dolly death trap is anything to go off of. Some fans think this peepless creeper is Circus Baby, a recurring enemy in the games. However, she appears to be more closely based on Ella, the character from the
Oh, based off of Ella.
FNAF novels. It's a pretty obscure character to be sure, though still relevant enough to get her own Funko Pop. By the way, thank you writer Tim for providing all of this information, because, like I said earlier, I don't know jack shit about this series. Vanessa explains that Fazbear's older animatronics were also worn as suits. These pokey prongs, called spring locks, were designed to keep the suit's robo-bits in place. Unfortunately, they tend to get a little more bear trappy as they age. If that wasn't scary enough, Abby shreds too hard and knocks herself unconscious. Vanessa gets mad that Mike endangered his sister by bringing her here, but, I mean, you know, it doesn't mean they can't still hook up, right?
If you ever bring Abby back here again, I will shoot you.
So that's a maybe? The night's events convince Mike he's an unfit guardian. Abby wakes up the next morning to the smell of burnt bacon and bad news. Mike's gonna let Aunt Jane take custody of her after all. Aw, Abby, I know it sucks. Just channel that anger into your art. Mike runs away from his responsibilities and back to Freddys to take a nap. This time in his dreams, Garrett is conspicuously unkidnapped. The Boo Crew shows up and offers Mike a deal. He can have a nightly reunion with his loving family, all at the low, low price of his little sister.
We want Abby.
A conflicted Mike agrees to the deal, but thinks about it for like 2 more seconds and regrets it immediately. Sucks for him though, because now the kids are gone, and so is the family he traded for. What the fuck? Mike wakes up and finds himself strapped in the same perilous position as his predecessor. He manages to free himself and stumbles upon the bodies of Max and her friends, who have been stuffed into various Fazbear brand suits. Max appears to be stuffed inside Shadow Freddy, a purple variant of Freddy. Ooh. Mike makes it to the back entrance, where he nearly falls victim to Foxy's song and dance before escaping. I love this cable system they used for Foxy's sprint down the hallway. It's great. Back home, Aunt Jane is too distracted by her nightly infomercials to notice she has a surprise guest. Abby emerges from her room to find Freddy and lead ghost kid waiting for her. She'll just have to ignore Aunt Jane lying on the floor over there. Lead kid tells Abby she's sleeping, and it's possible she's only knocked out, but I'm making a judgment call and saying she did. To get to Fazbear's, Abby and Freddy take a cab driven by streamer Corey X Kenshin. Corey's played these games a lot before, so he agrees to take the Freddy Faz Fair.
Why do I always get the weirdos?
He You might notice that this Freddy is more fast beaten up compared to his appearance at the restaurant. That's because this isn't Freddy. Lead Ghost Kid even said so.
Not Freddy.
It's actually Golden Freddy, a ghostly entity who serves as the overarching antagonist of the first game. Fans of the games might have caught his iconic "It's me" written on a mirror earlier, or noticed his signature glowing right eye. He's who the lead Ghost Kid represents, but he phantom vanishes once they arrive at the restaurant. We catch up with Mike at a random police supply outpost that Vanessa must have brought him to off screen. He's pissed at her for not warning him about the homicidal robots.
You saw Abby playing with them. And you knew what they were capable of, and you didn't say anything!
Yeah, maybe he should be the one threatening to shoot her! Actually, no, that probably wouldn't end well. Vanessa finally comes clean about Fazbear's dark history. She reveals the ghost children are being controlled by William Afton, the owner of Fazbear's Pizzeria, who murdered them in the 80s. The cops searched the restaurant for the missing kids, but Afton was a cruel and clever man who hid the evidence away in a disturbing place.
It's not just their ghosts that are inside of those machines. It's their bodies.
And how does Vanessa know all this? Well, because there's one more thing to know about William Afton. He's Vanessa's father! It's a flip on the game lore where William Afton is Mike's dad, not Vanessa's. Vanessa does appear in the 9th game as a security guard and is revealed to be a follower of Glitchtrap, a murderous mascot who's implied to be William Afton's ghost? God damn it, there's a lot of lore in these games. Tammy knew up front they wouldn't be able to cover everything in the film.
The lore is massive, and there was no way we were ever going to fit everything into one film, nor was it the intention.
Sure. But she and Cawthon both agreed that Afton would be crucial to include, and made sure to tie the film to the story of the first game. As a final blow, Mike recognizes Garrett's toy in a photo and realizes William Afton is the man who kidnapped his brother long ago. Oh, it's personal now. Vanessa's too scared of her dad to help Mike, but arms him with a bunch of tasers, since they'll mess with the animatronic circuitry. Mike takes her cruiser back to Freddy's, where he diehards his way inside. He disables Freddy and Bonnie with a bucket of water and a well-placed taser shot. Chica, however, is absent. She's leading Abby to the back, where a mechanical makeover awaits her. Mike arrives just in time to save her, but their escape is hampered by that pesky cupcake. Mike shocks his foe into submission, giving Abby a chance to ball Apocalypse Now into a hiding spot. When Mike tries to find her, he runs into a yellow bunny, the foreboding figure all over Fazbear's wall of drawings, and the 8-bit opening credits. Mike tries to use his taser, but this ain't no robot. This is William Afton in the flesh, or rather, in the suit, a yellow variant of Bonnie known in the games as Spring Bonnie. Abby's nearly found by Foxy until he's put down by a Deus Ex Machina. It's Vanessa who's decided to come help out after all. But they'd better hurry, since Afton wastes no time disarming Mike and kicking the absolute shit out of him.
You couldn't just leave it alone, could you? Lucky me!
Afton reveals he murdered Garrett shortly after kidnapping him, so I'll go ahead and put him on the count. The kid killer is Garrett shortly after kidnapping him, so I'll go ahead and put him on the count. The kid killer is positively thrilled he gets to complete the set by murdering Mike right now.
Symmetry, my friend!
He summons forth Fazbear and friends to finish off Mike, but Vanessa shows up and holds her father at gunpoint. Between his voice and that ghost-faced knife wipe, you might have guessed Afton's identity before he removes his mask. But if you didn't, surprise, Sydney, it's Steve Raglan. A reveal that might have been more shocking if Lillard wasn't announced as William Afton back when he was
Yeah, it would be like if it wasn't revealed like that, it would have been a big shocker. But it's like if you've seen these, then yeah, you kind of spoiled it that he's gonna be a bad guy.
Also, wait, what the fuck? I thought he was supposed to be purple or something. Anyway, major props to Lillard for his physical performance here, considering he couldn't actually see out of his suit, instead relying on Tammy's direction to know what he was doing. Vanessa gets a shot off on her old man before he regains the upper hand. Abby tends to Mike, who realizes her drawings might be able to save them, since they're how she can communicate with the Ghost Kid robots. He tells her to show them what really happened. Giddy up, Abby, it's doodle or die. Afton tries to stifle her art, but he's stopped by Vanessa, who receives a gnarly stab to the stomach for her troubles. Abby pins up her drawing, which depicts Afton's crimes against the kids. It strikes a chord with the animatronics, and after Mike puts a spotlight on the kitty killer, the band finally turns on their manager. He tries to get them back under his control with some sweet talk.
You are wretched, rotten little beast!
But for some reason, it doesn't work. Mr. Cupcake takes a bite out of him, which causes the suit's spring locks to activate. In a scene ripped straight from the games, Afton is crushed inside his suit as he defiantly puts his mask back on.
I always come back.
I know that line comes from the games, but I wonder if Cawthon knew it was already a Chucky quote.
I always come back!
Mike and Abby escape with an injured Vanessa as the restaurant begins to collapse, leaving Afton to be dragged away to an unpleasant fate. In the film's epilogue, Abby is shown to be thriving, while Vanessa is shown to be in a coma. Womp womp. Over dinner, Mike and Abby tease a sequel by talking about visiting the animatronics again. The film fades back to a ruined Fazbear's, where Golden Freddy's ghost child stands watch over a seriously messed up Afton. He's not quite ready to go on the count yet, though. If you're familiar with the game lore, you know why. The end credits are scored by the Living Tombstone's Five Nights at Freddy's song, another early viral creation that helped popularize the game. A mid-credits scene sees cab driver Corey get jump-scared by Balloon Boy, who popped up 2 other times in the movie. In the games, Balloon Boy serves as a recurring nuisance, who appears suddenly and messes with the player.
I think Balloon Boy in this movie, it was supposed to be his brother Garrett. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it is, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But he was looking for his brother, and apparently Balloon Boy, if it is, if I'm correct about this, was his brother, and he didn't know that.
Here's controls. Finally, the credits end with an eerie voice. It spells out "Come find me," another quote associated with that bastard Golden Freddy, who Alt F4'd my game when my stream tricked me into putting in a secret code.
Well, let's see what this is.
What happened?
You fucks! How many people wound up biting the big one of 87? Well, I want to tell you, but I'm not sure where to go from here.
May I suggest the numbers?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you, Ness, but the problem is I haven't come up with a good to the numbers bit yet.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Are you sure? Because I feel like some people think a kill count's only as good as its to the numbers gag.
Well, some people do say that, but, you know, it's just a theory.
A kill count theory?
Yeah, I guess it would be that.
Okay, alright, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I counted 8 kills in Five Nights at Freddy's, though I'm sure there's room for debate there. The victims consisted of 5 males and 3 females, giving us this Fazbear Pizza pie chart. We've seen this count and breakdown in 9 previous kill counts before. With a runtime of 109 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 13.63 minutes. I'll give the Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill to Max. Though it's mostly done in shadow form to retain that PG-13 rating, it's still gnarly and a nice nod to the bite of 87. Double machete for lamest kill will go to Aunt Jane, since I'm not even entirely sure she's dead. Guess we'll find out in the sequel. And that's it! Five Nights at Freddy's was released in 2023 and kicked ass at the box office. I'll be sure to cover the sequels that are undoubtedly on their way, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Five Nights at Freddy's Kill Count. I know that this was hugely requested. There were reasons I couldn't cover it until now, but now we're covering it, and I hope it goes well.
Feel free to. Other than that, I will let you all go.
Huge thanks for Matt Pat for coming over to my house.
And I'll see you guys Monday. Got videos going up for y'all.